is up, awesome people, and welcome back to Salty Wi-Fi Wednesday. And now that I think about it, I might be joking about that, but actually kind of has a little ring to it. Salty Wi-Fi Wednesday, but I can probably make it a little bit sweeter of an intro name with a few tinkering. But anyways, welcome back to another PIMPNITE marathon here. We have another battle I've done up against PIMPNITE, and again, this was quite some time ago. But there is indeed a little bit of salt-inducing moments in this, so I don't want to spoil it too much, so without further ado, let's just jump into it. And as always, this battle was shown over on PIMPNITE's channel, but this will come with my perspective instead. Alright, so in the last time we went up against Pimp, he was using my Japanese 3DS for a full Ashat Pikachu battle. This time round, this is, I do believe, the highest HP stat Pokemon, so Pokemon with like the highest HP or highest stats or something like that. It might have been a highest stats team. I actually can't remember this team. But anyways, awesome start here, and Pardos outspeeds me, misses with the Rock Slide, which would have done a hell of a lot of damage there thanks to Sheer Force, if it is running the Sheer Force, which I do believe it is. I get the Trick Room up, and yes, it is another Trick Room team. I swear to God, I will not use the Trick Room team soon. Anyways, Rock Slide finally hits me, and as you can see there, the damage is absolutely amazing there. 3/4 damage there to Ryunclus, and this is probably my... this will be my special defensive role, I do believe, because I did have Slowbro on this team. Anyways, I'm going to swap out my Ryunclus there, because that's more than too much for me. So I'm going to swap into my Heatran here, which should stoke up the Rock Slide somewhat well, but it does avoid the attack, which is even better, so free swap in for me. He's going to swap out the Rampardos there, predicting something like a Flash coming my way, plus he swaps into a Blissey, which is complete Heatran counter because of how well it can just tank Heatran's attacks. So Flash Cannon's going to do... It did better than what I thought it'd do, but I do get the special defensive drop, which is awesome. Plus, it's a Life Orb Heatran as well, and it's a Heatran in Trick Room, but I will admit this only has something like 3 or 4 IVs in speed, so it's not that effective in Trick Room considering it already has nice base speed. So you'll probably find when you do use it in Trick Room, it will get outsped by quite a few Pokemon, considering the current meta does ask for around an average of 60 or 70 base speed. Anyways, I swap into my Tyranitar here because I do have something like Low Kick or something like that on Tyranitar. I can't remember what I was actually running, plus it's a physical attacker too. Blissey goes for the Charge Beam there, does get the special attack boost, goes for the Dazzling Gleam there, but it's not going to do very much to me because I am running the Assault Vest, plus the Sandstream is up, so I get an extra 20% boost on my special defense. Going for the Earthquake there, that's going to bring Blissey down to its very low red there, plus the Sandstorm damage is going to just miss out the kill there. I'm so salty! But it doesn't matter anyways because it's Blissey. It's just going to go for a Tri Attack. It's probably going to paralyze me. Oh, look, it actually did paralyze me for once. I'm going for the Southern Punch there to take out the Blissey as well. And there's probably no point of actually swapping out the Blissey there because I don't think it was carrying its usual soft load either. So it's kind of just let it die now. Anyways, Ninjask comes in and it's going to go for the Final Gambit. I hate Final Gambit when it's being used by PIMPNITE because it's almost like... If you know a Pokemon's going to learn Final Gambit, there is a good chance if you see one, there's a good chance the Pokemon will use Final Gambit. It's what I've kind of learnt in the past, so was not expecting that, should have expected it. Tyranitar goes down. I'm quite salty by that point, by the way, too, if you can't tell by the tone of my voice. Alright, so Ryunclus comes in, I get hit by the Rock Slide. Unfortunately, my Regenerator was not enough to bring me into a range of living it, so my Trick Roomer goes down once again. Wow, turn 9, I've lost a Trick Roomer already, so I'm going to bring in my Conkeldurr here. Conkeldurr in Trick Room is absolutely beastie. I think this is a choice Vander, and just look at that damage it's coming from Zen Headbutt. It's got the boost from Sheer Force as well. That nearly takes out the Conkeldurr as well, and if this is what I think it is, the max health, max attack with Brave Nature, then yeah, that does a lot of damage. So yeah, Rampardos finally goes down, which feels really good as well because I really needed that to go down. And plus a Flame Orb and Guts boost there as well. There's not a lot of Pokemon who are going to like swapping into this. So I think by this point as well, we're like, we're not really too sure if there's going to be like a close match or not. So it's like, we'll just keep playing and see what goes. So I'm mucking around here by this point thinking, oh, by this point I'm going to absolutely demolish his team. And as you kind of notice there too, because Metal Burst doesn't have any negative priority, it does actually outspeed my Conkeldurr and goes for the Metal Burst, which will fail. So this is a Trick Room Rotom here, so it's only holding the Iron Ball because I derped and forgot to give it a power item, which does the exact same thing as Iron Ball but doesn't negate my Levitate, so I'm quite vulnerable to Earthquake by this point, but thankfully he doesn't have Earthquake by this point, so I can just go for the Hydro Pump. and just take out the Laron, I do believe. That should do a lot of damage. Okay, I was gonna say, if I don't kill, there's something wrong there. Anyways, Laron does go down by that point. As I said, it was kind of, I'm mucking around by this point because we didn't actually think it was going to be a close battle. So I was like, oh, we should better get some type of bloopers out of this battle. But this happens. This little thing called Hoopa happens. So Hoopa's going to absolutely smack me quite hard there, bring me down to the red, go for the Spalt Switch here. I'm just going to swap out into another Pokemon because I kind of need Trick Room back on the field by this point because Hoopa is very devastating if you're not ready for it. So I do believe I've lost my special defensive wall, so that's not good. Gonna go into the Guzzlord here, which would play very well in Trick Room if it was running the very low Trick Room stats, like very low IVs, Quiet Nature, or Brave Nature, whatever Guzzlord runs. I do believe it would be quiet in Trick Room. So I'm gonna Mega Evolve into my Slowbro here. This is kind of like my bread and butter when it comes to Trick Room and OU. Gonna go for the Trick Room there, setting that back up onto the field. Now I do believe I don't have Ice Beam. Alright, that's kind of a first on me not running Ice Beam on this set. Going for the Skull there, I do believe, you know, I get the burn, which is nice. Any other time that I probably wouldn't get the burn. Guzzlord's going to go for the Toxic here, which is not good on my Slowbro. So I've lost Regenerator ability, although I do believe I would have been running Oblivious on my Slowbro before Mega Evolving. So with Mega Slowbro, it's got Shell Armor, which means I can't be crit, which is great. But I don't think I was running Slack Off. If I was, that'd be the reason why I'm not running Ice Beam on this set. Anyways, going for the Conkeldurr here, because it's like, I can smack this quite hard with the Conkeldurr. Guzzlord goes for this Stockpile, so I was like, please don't be running Z Stockpile, because that'd be the last thing I want to see at this point, which means if it goes down into the red, it can go for Z Stockpile, get the stats and defense and special defense, and not only that, get a max health recovery, so it's quite strong indeed. So gonna go for the Ice Punch here. If I'd gone for Drain Punch, I think I damage calcs as well there, I would not have taken it out either. So it's like, oh, that's quite devastating to know. And not only that as well, I think even if I did do the Drain Punch and everything, the kind of the events that happen afterwards, I can't avoid that. So it's almost like my destiny has been sealed by this point. So it's 4-2. Keep that in mind by this point. Let's go for another Ice Punch here. And I don't take out the Guzzlord. If I'd gone for the Drain Punch, maybe I would have taken it out by that point. I probably would have taken it out, I would say, with a Guts Boost. Super effective as well. And Stab, yeah, I probably would have taken it out. So as I said though, keep in mind it's 4-2 at this point, and what's remaining. So at this point, he's kind of just stalling out my Trick Room. He's back at max health, so let's have a look at how much damage I'm going to do with Drain Punch by this point. So burn damage is going to do a little bit of damage there to Guzzlord, which is great. And my Trick Room wears out. Keep in mind that would have worn out eventually as well. So the only attacking move this Guzzlord has, by the looks of it, is Snarl. So that's going to drop my special attack, which is going to make no difference on my Conkeldurr. But at +3, Drain Punch is going to do very minute damage, considering it's a freaking Conkeldurr for, yeah, it's a Conkeldurr that should be doing a lot more damage. So residual damage there to Guzzlord as well, thanks to burn. I really need to start hitting this with Drain Punch and trying to keep my Conkeldurr around. So he's going to withdraw the Guzzlord here, and his only Pokemon in reserve is going to be the Hoopa. Now this is what I said, keep in mind this little thing exists for a reason. So Drain Punch does nothing to Conkeldurr, and at any point as well as that, Pimp could have swapped into Hoopa at any time, predicting my Drain Punch as well. So this is why I went for the Ice Punch, predicting a swap into Hoopa. So Hyperspace Hole is going to be super effective and going to kick my behind into... Oh, that's not super effective, sorry, it's a Ghost type move. But it's still going to kick my behind into absolute oblivion. So Conkeldurr is down, I've got Heatran, I'm going to get outsped because there's no Trick Room on the field, and keep in mind as well, Hyperspace Hole is super effective against Slowbro as well. Can't crit me, but it's still going to hit me for quite a lot of damage too, because I think it's going to hit me for special. So it's going to do decent damage there to Heatran. I'm going to go for the Flamethrower, but unfortunately Hoopa's got some nice special defense, which means it's going to tank that quite well. And I do believe this Hoopa's going to be choice specs, so it's going to swap out here. Go back into the Guzzlord, it will be back to neutral on special defense and its defense. It is burnt, which is great. I'm going to do some damage here as well, but at the same time, Life Orb's going to be my biggest enemy here as well. I'm going to lose damage to Life Orb. And Trick Room being down, and the fact that I'm running only 3 or 4 IVs in my speed, means Guzzlord's going to outspeed me and do some damage. Sorry, I'm going to outspeed it. See, this is what happens when you don't run 0 in IVs in speed. You're going to actually outspeed Pokemon like Guzzlord and everything without the TR. So I guess it's kind of a good thing I wasn't running 0 normally. But I think even without the 0 speed with IVs and speed, sorry, I think I still would have outspeed it. But anyways, this thing's still hanging around. So it's going to go lock itself into the Shadow Ball. Now it's going to hit me, and it's going to take me out. It's like, oh boy, that's down. And I've got Slow Bro, and I do believe... Okay, I'm poisoned though, that's the problem. But I'm in ground, I was like, oh, maybe I can comfortably live this. Hoopa goes for the Shadow Ball, and I think for once I actually wasn't running any special defensive EVs in my Slow Bro. I was like, oh no. One time I go for max defense, I don't live. So that's what I said, my Trick Room of Pokemon is kind of weak to this thing. And all that's left now is a Rotom. It's slower. It's got Iron Ball, which means it's got non-existent speed. And Shadow Ball is going to take me out there. So it's like, oh no, if I'd gone for the Drain Punch when I should have, maybe it could have been a different battle. But also having said that as well, if he predicted my Drain Punch, he could have swapped into Hoopa. Prevented that from happening, and it would have been game regardless of what I did there. So in the end, I was doing mind games thinking, what could I have done to try and swap the situation around? The only thing that would have swapped the situation around is if he did mispredict on one of my moves and swapped in Hoopa at the wrong time, and I would have taken out Hoopa, or I would have taken out Guzzlord with him thinking I wasn't going to go for another Drain Punch or something. That's the only way I would have won the battle. But as I said at the start, we're like, oh, this isn't going to be much of a close battle. We'll just go for bloopers instead. In the end, I got spanked. That's what happens when you kind of underestimate your opponent, which I've done so many times. So, as always, go for the gut feeling. Don't muck around in case something like a Hoopa comes along and just turns the battle upside down and uses topsy-turvy. Oh, good times indeed. But anyways, guys, that's it for this battle. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you guys enjoyed the Trick Room, Heatran, and Rotom. I think I've used Heatran and Trick Room before, but I don't think I've ever shown it on the channel, I do believe. I know I haven't used Trick Room Rotom before, but as always, all their sets are going to be on the outro screen, so if you want to check them out, that's the place to go. And there'll be one more battle going up for tonight, considering I haven't done Wi-Fi Wednesday for quite some time, so that should have been a big dent in all my backlogged battles I've done with PIMPNITE. So I hope you guys are enjoying Salty Wi-Fi Wednesday. Until next time, this is Lady KrimZen saying, ciao for now, but not forever. Ciao.